If my child's ambition falls short of mine, I can accept that. As long as you're happy, I'm good. But as long as you're not happy on my payroll, that right there doesn't work for me. With this one, we want to talk about checking in. Really not a check-in with Mike, but more so a check-in with how the three of us are managing Mike being in college.
It's a Mike episode.
We're empty nesting because he's out or halfway trying to empty nest. We talked about dropping him off. Now we're checking in. He's headed home for the first time since we dropped him off. You know, I'm not expecting huge change, but it'll be interesting to see who we see and what we see.
A lot has changed. When he walks in the door, his room doesn't look like his room anymore because you got out of his room.
True.
Hurricane Jamie has come in and turned the room into a nice, pleasant place to be, which is nice.
True.
Keeping it 100, I'm raw about the topic, a lot of things with Michael, because I engage with him so much.
Yeah.
There are some real topics that you might not want to talk about. There's real stuff.
Okay.
Like, he's coming back home for like 5 days after living in the dorm for months.
Yeah.
And he's not living all that clean in the dorm.
The issue starts with the fact that he eats from the calf, he brings home the containers, and he stacks the food containers that are empty in the corner of the room for days, which to me is just nasty, right?
Now that you said that, I'm going to send him back with a box of black trash bags. Continue.
Okay. Well, doesn't that kind of perpetuate the issue? Take the trash out. Empty the trash before you go to sleep at night.
Okay, so
Just
then
make
I
that a
will
habit.
not take him with black trash bags because that'll mean larger trash storage.
Exactly.
I got you.
We
That
don't
makes
want
sense.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are, like thinking of great behaviors, but like, is that our job? While he was in school, in his dorm, I didn't say a word about his cleanliness at all, because that's on you, and you need to live that consequence, whether it's good or bad. You need to live in that. But then once you get back to our house, then you got to live the way we live, and that's not gonna work.
Insert the scene from Silkwood when Sissy Spacek comes out of she's been irradiated, and they get out the brooms and the hoses.
There are issues that we are having with him in terms of checking his email still. Like, we also get university emails, so we know there are things that need to be done that he has not done. We're having that conversation, like, do we say something? Do we not say something? And I am so settled into don't say a word. Like, just let him figure it out. Because if we do say something, then how long do we keep this up? Until he's 22? And then when he's 22, why would he stop? We've been doing it the whole time.
I'm here to give all of the information, meaning whatever questions he has, I'm going to answer every one of them. I think what I hear you say is that there's got to be some worthy inquiry first.
Right. I'm willing to meet you halfway, but I can't be standing here waiting on you and you never show up. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
I can't want it more than you want it. And that's, I think, our
Right.
problem. We are constantly wanting it more than he does.
Now, I'm playing chess with the whole thing, and that's where I don't see the connector for you, which is if his questions fall short of what the totality of what's required to navigate successfully year one. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, because he didn't think to ask about a thing, he navigated on his own, and now he has to face a consequence. And if that consequence is you're out.
Of school?
Yeah, out of school, out of the dorm, or out of whatever, I don't want to face that consequence.
Right. See, that's the hardest part, because you have to strike this balance between I need to let him do it and I can't let him fail to the point where it affects me. I think that we were there all summer long. It was let him do it. And then you get to, okay, well, he's not doing it. And if I let him not do it continually, he won't go to school. That now affects me. So I 100% agree with you. I think that we are still balancing that line. So now the question becomes, do you mention the emails that you haven't checked that are kind of crucial to your scholarship? Or do you just let that go by?
No, I absolutely 100% mention it.
Okay.
I've committed 100% to year one of the mission critical stuff like money and paperwork required, since you've never done college before, and I've done it twice. I'm fully committed to even going beyond probably what I should do just to make sure it all gets done. But that will be weaned off as well after year one. The thing that bothers me and gets me frustrated still is when we have talked about a thing, We've gone through it. We talk about why this is like mission critical, and then you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, I'm not trying to be the student. I'm not trying to be the administrator. I've advised you. Either you don't believe me, or you have some underlying desire or need to feel the pain of failure.
That's very frustrating, because it's like, yes, I want to do this. I want to be here. I want to go there. And we're like, okay, these are all the steps that you need to take in order to get there. And he's like, okay, got it. And then next time you check on him, he's done zero. He's done nothing.
We had that issue this morning. and so now when I hear myself talk, I'm now self-diagnosing, and I realize that I am aggressive and I'm ambitious when it comes to getting the most. I want efficiency, and I want to maximize the time and my opportunities in life.
But see, he doesn't.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm self-diagnosing and saying that's the reason for my frustration.
Yeah.
I know that time is limited, resources are limited. Using them smartly can increase happiness. My source of frustration is that I'm trying to get the most happiness for him out of the scenario and of life. I've got to put brackets on it. I've got to say, look, I want to get the most, but I'm only going to push to this limit instead of the sky. And I've also got to have a hand underneath it to say, hey, look, I'll let you fall 25% below standard before I push.
I 100% agree with you and understand. You have these ambitions and you want all these things for them. But the problem is they don't. Or they say they do.
They don't know or don't trust
They
it.
say they want these things, but then when it comes time to put in the work in order to get there, they are absent. How much work am I asking you to do to check an email?
I had a call with Dr. Ferguson. For those who don't know, he's a good friend of mine, 4-time national champion, Olympian, and his son is third-generation football athlete who is trying to demonstrate his greatness in high school so he can pay for college football, which is fantastic. And we were talking this week about his judo school. He was saying, when I'm dealing with my athletes, I want compliance. Because if you tell me you want this thing, then I will create the path for you to get to that thing. Now, the beauty of him having a judo school is he's got, let's say, dozens of students.
Yeah.
So the students can self-sort. Some students are there because they want the brass ring. They want to go to the Olympics. Some of them want to just pay for college or be great in their other sport. But some people just want to be there for the community. You can't treat all the students the same way because they have different goals, different backgrounds. But there's a larger sample set. When you're dealing with your own children, you don't have dozens unless you're Sean Kemp or ODB. You got 2 or 3.
Right.
And so you want them all to be in that gold ring category.
Right.
But they are not.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing. You have these ambitions for your kids, but those are your ambitions. If my child's ambition falls short of mine, I can accept that. As long as you're happy, I'm good. But as long as you're not happy on my payroll, that right there doesn't work for me. I'm gonna need you to get off my payroll. Then we can be very happy.
Right.
Together.